And we're go.
Sweet.
Thanks for coming down, Brent.
Sure.
I
Thank you.
really appreciate you taking some time out, sitting down, having a conversation. And like you said, your name did come up last week with Aaron, which has been really interesting to see someone who was coming from the running background and come into a new activity and really enjoy it.
Sure.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's what I like about seeing people, do one thing and then realize the body's not going to let you do that anymore, and find something else that can kind of replace that for them.
Yeah.
So, we haven't really sat down for a long time. We've known each other.
I was going to say, I'm curious what your answer is and how long we've known each other.
I want to say 8 years.
I bet it's more like, I want to say
13.
10 or 15.
The time flies when you're having fun.
Oh yeah.
You just can't believe it. And I remember, how long have you been doing this Saturday morning ride?
That's probably been in that 10 or 15 year mark too. At least 10, maybe 12, 13. Let me put this in perspective. I met Aaron doing market to market. Now, granted, I was actually on the team before. I think I was on the team before he was, but we were the first few years. Maybe that's what it was. But this year in 2020 will be the 13th market to market race, and I've ran 12 of them. I only missed one because it landed on my son's 5th birthday in 2011. So I gave up my spot that year. Otherwise, I would have ran all of them. So I'm excited that this will be my 12th market to market. So that's where I tried to. And Aaron was one of those, because being on the team, I talked to everybody about biking and how it can easily translate over either way.
Right.
And we see a lot of triathletes.
Yeah.
That do great with that, but that's where I've been doing market to market for 12 years. I've been biking for probably 22 as an adult, at least.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy that the market to market has been going on that long.
2008.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And they've done an excellent job with that.
Oh.
That everyone I know that participates in that is it's fun. That's the key word that everyone can always consistently say, how fun it is to do.
Yeah.
Which brings me to kind of, where did you play high school sports? Or
I did. I was in. I only did 1 year of track. I was in football all 4 years in high school and basketball all 4 years. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
wow.
I played an 8-man football, so believe it or not, I'm not that big of a guy, but I was center. So we had to play both sides. So we played offense, played defense. So I was center and long snapper, and then also defensive end.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Wow. So after high school, did you take to running?
No, what happened was, so I moved to Lincoln and transferred up here to UNL and had met my wife, future wife. And then when we were, after we got married, I started working at the bank. So probably sometime in 96, 97 is when I started to realize, I was 20, 22, 23. And what happens is you realize that being young doesn't translate to just you're fit, you can eat whatever you want, and you started to see your changes coming and you're not as strong and not as fit.
Right.
So we got to get busy. And the bank has been great over the years we have a great wellness program. And
go ahead and plug your bank.
No, that's all right. So, I've been on our wellness committee for 18, 19 years as well.
Wow.
But so getting active, and what I started to do was I picked up a bike that my wife had. So I rode as a kid. We had gravel streets and one sidewalk.
Right.
So I rode a little bit as a kid. But when I came to Lincoln and knew I needed to get fit, running just wasn't quite my thing. I can do it.
Yeah.
But So I picked up Carrie's bike,
Uh-huh.
and she had bought it from a guy she'd worked with, and it was too big for her.
Yeah.
And it was a specialized rock hopper, just
Okay.
a steel frame,
Right.
and I still have the bike,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And I started riding the Mopac. We
Yeah.
lived in an apartment close to the Mopac,
Yeah.
and I get off work from the bank at
Uh-huh.
like 3:30, so my afternoons were going out. If I could make it to Walton, which now is like,
Right.
nothing. But if I could make it to Walton and back, I was thrilled, so that's why I started to get into riding. So
So she purchased the bike?
she bought it from a guy that she worked with at Amigos when she was working at Amigos in college,
Yeah.
and the bike was too big. So,
But it fit you.
but it fit me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So adventures to Walton, that's where your riding experience started.
Yep.
Then kind of how did it evolve after that?
So then, this is where I start to date myself. We signed up. We started riding more. We got Carrie a bike.
Uh-huh.
I ended up buying a better bike.
Right.
And there was a bike store over here off O Street that was closing back in the day. And I went to their auction and picked up a pretty decent Specialized bike. And that's where my love for Specialized originally came from.
Yeah.
The loyalty, just, kind of sticks with you.
Uh-huh.
So we decided to do the 99 Tour de Nebraska.
Okay.
We were novices.
Right.
I mean, we trained, but, we learned a lot out there on a 5-day bike tour, pitching your tent.
Yeah.
It was quite the experience.
Uh-huh.
And so we ended up doing, so we did the 99.
Yeah.
And then we did the 2000.
Right.
We met some great people along the way. We have some friends that still to this day. Then we took, I think, you're at that age in your life where everybody's getting married and you got all these weddings to go to. So 2001, we didn't get to do any bike adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up signing up and doing Ride the Rockies, 2002 Ride the Rockies. So it's 18 years ago.
Wow. Where's that at?
So that started, gosh, I'm trying to think, where did we start that year? We started down, that was the first year, if I remember right, it was the first year that they did a 500-mile loop. So we were used to that loop concept with Tour de Nebraska.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to worry about getting back to our vehicle.
Right.
So in 2002, Ride the Rockies was a big loop.
Okay.
We started down south. I know we went through Durango. I think we did Almosa, Salida, Durango, Gunnison, Silverton, kind of a big loop in southwestern Colorado.
Yeah.
So and there were forest fires that year, I remember. We got displaced from the firefighters we were supposed to sleep on the, by the schools, on the football fields.
Right.
Because we used the schools to shower up, just like Tour de Nebraska.
Yeah.
But we got displaced somewhere else, some city park or something. And so that was a fun, and that was a trip that we ended up doing with a couple that we met doing Tour de Nebraska.
Yeah.
We decided then to go do Ride the Rockies together.
Yeah.
So
is that one still going?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
And they cap that at 2,000 riders every year, and I think it sells out.
Really? Yeah. That's really awesome to see that those rides are still going.
Yeah.
So have you done any more Tour de Nebraska since?
We have not.
Okay.
What happens with this? So then, so how the story goes, 2003, our first son was born, and so then biking for us together changed.
Yeah.
I kept biking and kept trying to, get better and better and better. Carrie started focusing on, she did more running and other workouts instead, so which she still does to this day.
Yeah.
So I just kept biking. That's where the group started to grow. That's where the Team Impact concept came from. Team Impact was just, the idea behind that was to continue to promote bicycling in any way, shape, or form, and just be a positive impact for bicycling in Lincoln.
Yeah.
That was where the Team Impact came from.
So did something happen that inspired you to kind of start that group?
Yeah, so I kind of remember the day. So I was doing the 8 o'clock group rides.
Okay.
There was a long-standing, when I was first getting into
I remember that one.
There were some elite group kind of guys in this, and all types.
Yeah.
So I remember joining those 8 o'clock rides, and those
are brutal.
They were brutal.
Yeah.
And so you learned a lot.
Yeah.
But I also found there was a lot of people in those groups that I just didn't like their riding style.
Yeah.
And I vividly remember one day, and there was at least 3 or 4 other guys that I would call my core group,
mm-hmm.
and became more of my core group.
Yeah.
We were in a big group heading south on 77,
mm-hmm.
and it was, again, just, you don't know, if you don't ride with the people as much, you don't know their riding style, what they're going to do. You get used to people and understand what's going to happen in the group.
Yeah.
And it just got like done. I think literally that ride, like 4 of us split off. They went right and we went left.
Yeah.
And that was it. So then I just started to say, hey, let's set up our own ride and start meeting. And that list of people, on my email list at least, was 70, 80 people.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
15 years or so later. So.
I do remember joining you. I think the group had started a couple of years, and then I had come in after the fact that you started up. And definitely a different feel for showing up versus the 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock was, if you don't know where you're going and you don't know how to fix the flat, you probably shouldn't be there.
Right. Yep.
And if you weren't going to if you didn't have thick skin, was the other thing. And, there's a place for that, and some people really enjoy that. I'm kind of a masochist. I remember my first go with that group, and just the mental game that I played with myself just to stay. And then I kept going back out every Saturday. Though it was nice to come and ride in your group and not feel that, and just enjoy being on the bike and being out on the highways and talking with people. And again, just like how people say how fun the market is, they will say that there's a typical theme of what's the word? Just being able to enjoy a ride in your group.
Sure.
No one feels like, I tell people, hey, if you want to go for a ride on Saturday mornings and you're not opposed to getting up a little early at 7 o'clock, you'll have a good time.
Sure. Good.
And no one's ever disappointed.
Good.
So
that's good.
I really appreciate that that you have been so consistent. Like, it's been 15 plus years, and I think you have one of the longest standing rides now on Saturdays.
Probably.
Yeah, which is a testament to you and your consistency. That's really amazing. Since then, what are some other things or projects that have come about because?
I think it was about 2012 when, this is going to sound crazy, they chip sealed the shoulder on Highway 2.
Yeah.
We built our house. We had a lot of places we could pick in Lincoln when we built our house.
Mm-hmm.
I picked a spot close to a trail. I can get on a trail, I can get on gravel, I can get on the highway and be out of town in minutes, basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I ride Highway 2 a lot.
Yeah.
And they chip sealed Highway 2.
Yeah.
So that kind of sparked that advocate in me to start communicating.
Uh-huh.
So at the time, Department of Roads, now Department of Transportation.
Yes.
They were great. They were very receptive. I think Kent Thompson and I went in and they opened the doors and said, come on, let's talk. So we went and sat down and talked about chip seal.
Yeah.
And the type of product they use. And we found out what happened. And they had an issue earlier that they had done on Highway 77 that was really bad.
Yeah.
A lot bigger aggregate that they used. And so they were trying to use smaller aggregate. But still, it's, and even motors don't like it because it does throw rocks and chips windshields and things like that.
Yeah.
So They were great to work with. They even brought up, I got pictures somewhere still of, they brought up a company from Kansas to try to put another overlay spray over the top to kind of help smooth the surface, but still protect what they were trying to protect.
Yeah.
So they were great. So that kind of kicked the door open for us to start talking and working with them.
Yeah. I do have to ask you though.
Sure.
What did you learn about chip seal? Because that's like an interesting conversation.
Well, I think they actually call it armor coating.
Okay, armor coating.
They just
First of all, really, what is the reason?
I mean, it's just to protect that road surface from any cracks and moisture getting into the underneath of it. So.
Okay, so my question is, isn't there a different surface that you could use that would be more?
Yeah.
That would wear better?
Well, they would argue this, and this is used commonly around the country, but the city of Lincoln has used on the city streets a contractor out of Kansas, and I've got his name and number, and I've talked to him. I've tried to get him to come up for the Department of Roads, now Transportation, to meet. We tried to coordinate a meeting, we kind of missed things, but the city of Lincoln's used them twice, and they resurfaced city streets with this overlay doesn't include gravel.
Yeah.
So I've tried to make that introduction and get them to see that product. Because, I look at parking lots and how they get resurfaced, and I started digging into what is it and what can we do? I mean, because I want to solve the problem,
Right.
I mean, so if we can make it better.
Yeah.
So we've tried. But.
Well, my question has always been, why not use a different cement or even go that far? Because I look at some sections on 77 where they don't use chip seal, but they do have a surface that seems, I don't know, highway cement, I guess is what you would call it.
I think it comes down to how they spec out that road and what the cost and funds available, and there's a lot of engineering going into that.
The cost up front, yes, but over the life of the surface.
Right.
Anyway, so that guy, a conversation with chip seal.
That's a whole different guy. Well, then we've talked rumble strips. That's a whole other story. But we've sat down with them and the state senator, and we've talked rumble strips, and they've been great to help design rumble strips and their new mandatory style of rumble strips that they put in for any new applications. We helped, have a voice in that.
Yeah.
So
what's changed then?
The width, the depth, the spacing, so that like if you're on a shoulder and you need to get back on the road because there's a car, and it happens a lot. There's a car pulled over and you need to cross the rumble strip safely, get onto the road to go around it. There's now a gap.
Yeah.
There's a gap in those rumble strips, at least on new constructions.
Yeah. That
you'll see, and that's our input from us to help get that from bicyclists to get that in there.
Nice.
So you'll see places where the first place I think I saw, if you want to go really check it out, it's Bennett, off of Highway 2 to Bennett.
Okay.
Both sides. That was one of the first places they went out and put it.
Nice.
So, partly I think, I can't remember if I helped mention that to them or not, but we've had a cyclist get hit out there a few years back. Mike Safe got hit.
Yeah.
There was no rumble strips. The motor safe fell asleep. So now there's rumble. They can go in and add those after the fact, which is nice.
That's
which is what they did in that spot. Those are a sample of where you'll see the new design. So, but that segued into 2013 is when we really need to get a statewide group together to advocate for bicycling for Nebraska. We did not have a statewide group. Our report card from the National League of American Bicyclists was terrible, and not that it's much better, but we're working on it.
Right.
Still lots to do.
Yeah.
We needed a statewide group to advocate for us, and that momentum from that spark, I still say from chip sealing Highway 2 got me rolling, and just was that enough of a spark that we got organized. I mean, we went around and we did a lot of legwork talking to people and trying to find out what didn't work in the past to get a group organized, and
Mhm.
what would work going forward, and to be as diverse as we could, and
Yeah.
include all the different parts of the state, and
Yeah.
so to represent well. And we accomplished that. I mean, we sat down, we created a board, we created a nonprofit.
Yeah.
We're rolling. Last year, we rebranded from Nebraska Bicycling Alliance
Uh-huh.
to Bike Walk Nebraska.
Okay.
So
Very good.
So we've rebranded, but we've had.
Well, what was the reason behind the change?
When we first started, I mean, trying to pick a name, trying
Yeah.
to pick a logo was fun,
Mhm.
but trying to decide our focus and how broad is our scope, or narrow is that scope, and what we do. We recognized the fact early on that walking goes hand in hand with what we do. I mean, anything that's good for us is good for someone walking or running.
Mm-hmm.
So we just knew at the time that we needed to focus on bicycling and bicycling only to get started, and that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
The time came to where it would help us, because when we're doing complete streets, safe routes to schools, any of the design engineering that goes into all the small communities that we've been in, the walking component is there.
Yeah.
It's there, and it helps that we just program for all of it.
Yeah.
So it made sense. It just really made sense that we rebrand, and that way more people could get behind the cause.
Right.
Which again benefits all of us.
Right.
So
what small communities have you been in?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Any big?
Hickman?
I'd have to ask Julie, our executive director.
Yeah.
Her complete list.
Yeah.
But she a couple times she's just hit the streets and goes around to all the small towns and helps them with anything that they need as far as complete streets, safe route to schools, any design engineering that they need done.
Yeah.
We're there to help. And she's got a list of at least 15 small towns, and we're talking even Norfolk, Columbus, Hastings,
right.
Kearney, places like that. Even further out, Scottsbluff.
So are these communities looking for a way to have the population be able to use and be active? Is that kind of what's going on?
Yeah, they recognize the fact that people need to be healthy.
Yeah.
Which is why I originally got into riding and being healthy and fit and strong. And they recognize the fact that one, it's a great form of transportation. It keeps people healthy. In some of the communities that we have, they rely heavily on bicycles.
Really?
I mean, you've got some of our towns in the western part of the state that a lot of their residents ride.
Really?
So.
Did not know that.
Because we have a diverse, workforce.
Right.
And so they're riding to the plant. They're riding wherever, to get to work. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So and the other problem we run into is some of those towns don't even have a bike shop. So there's other hurdles where we talk about how we can figure out how to get access. To bike repairs and bike stuff for some of those smaller towns. Along the Cowboy Trail, there's that discussion. How do you get, and it's, keep someone riding the whole thing. Oh. Eventually when the trail goes across country, coast to coast, someone breaks down.
I didn't know it was going to be that extensive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it going across the state now?
It's Norfolk to Valentine, 200 miles. Hoping maybe ride it all this summer. We'll see.
Yeah, is that on your to-do?
Yeah.
Nice. So for you personally, what has been the benefit besides being active in helping shape communities and seeing complete streets and advocacy along those lines? For you, what?
Well, I think it's been neat to meet everybody and get to know everybody I've got to know. I mean, a lot of great people. So, like Aaron last week who you had, just very humbling, the people that you can meet out there and the help you can have. And I think it's good that for my kids to see that we give back to the community, that we're active, we're healthy. I think that's great for them to see. And encourage them as much as possible to be active and
Hmm.
stay fit. But it's been quite, again, time flies, as you say. It's been amazing, but we've been able to pull together a lot of cool people and do a lot of neat things, and there's still so much more to do, but the momentum is there. And
That's awesome. So what future projects are coming up?
well, right now is just hopefully the license plate. You've seen the license plate that we're hopefully going to got out of committee.
Yeah.
So we tried license plate design, and the old-fashioned way you had to get at least 500, and then I think it was even eventually 250
Mm-hmm.
people to pre-purchase the license plate to have it made.
Yeah.
That happened, I think, 2 or 3 years ago and didn't go through.
Mm-hmm.
The other way to do it is kind of like, I hate to bring it up, but like the mountain lion plate.
Oh yeah.
So that plate, it's a $5 plate.
Yeah.
The proceeds from that go benefit, some organization in the state.
Uh-huh.
So with a bill sponsored by a state senator, you can get a plate.
Oh.
So we've got a plate design.
Yeah.
It got out of committee.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we're going to have another option for a license plate.
Awesome.
And it's not specifically bike, but it's got a pedestrian
Yeah.
person on a trail, and it's got a bike person.
Yeah.
And basically it's, the good life is outdoors.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
It's very broad.
Yeah.
So it should appeal to a lot of people, whether you just like going for walks or
Right.
watching birds or butterflies or
Yeah.
whatever, riding bikes.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be, you're going to have you might want that license plate. And the best part is part of that money doesn't come back to our nonprofit, unfortunately, but it does go to support trails. So part of the money goes to benefit trail design, construction, and maintenance.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that statewide then?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's.
Wow, you just go from riding to Walton to
I know, yeah.
covering the state. That's
Right.
awesome.
So yeah.
That's really awesome. So what other excellent things do you have coming up for yourself?
Just trying to figure out the riding season and get some good rides in. And
That reminds
my
me.
goals.
Yeah, speaking of your goals. Well, how many miles did you ride last year then?
Somewhere over 7,000.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's just, I know how many miles that is. For those who really don't know, if you want an illustration, it's like riding from Lincoln to Santiago, Chile.
oh wow,
That would be 7,000 miles.
wow.
Yeah.
It's a long ride.
I know. I've only ridden 7,000 miles once.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've already got like 1,000 in this year.
Yeah, I'm 12 or something. But yeah.
So what's the goal this year?
Well, the goal for a long time was 5.
Yeah.
And then I had to keep bumping it. So I think it's been 6 for the last few years, but I've topped 7 last 3, maybe 4 years. I've, the tickle and get over 7,000 miles. So
Yeah.
It's been good. So, yeah.
And that's on all kinds of bikes.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. That's the cool thing. I mean, I look at my bikes and I spread that across 3 bikes.
Yeah.
I think last year my road bike was about 3,500 miles of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fat bike probably saw about 1,200, 1,500 maybe of that. And then the cross bike, gravel bike was another 25 or 3 or something. I don't know, something in that range.
Yeah.
25. Well, the new cross bike in 6 months has got 27. As of the 25th, 2,750 miles in 6 months on that bike.
Wow.
And most of my winter riding is really on my fat bike. But,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, speaking of which, so what happened that Saturday morning on your fat bike? You and the minivan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a little scary. I was out for, I think, about 9 o'clock. That was on a Monday.
Oh, Monday.
It was Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, okay.
I was off work.
Yeah.
It's a holiday.
Yeah, right. Take
So-
advantage.
So 9 o'clock, I roll out for a ride and heading north on gravel, and I'm 3/4 of a mile from my house.
Yeah.
That's how quickly I can get on gravel.
Yeah.
And a minivan came up from behind. I didn't even hear it, and they lost control and were spinning. They spun around twice, completely spun around, and the back end of the van on second time around came around and just clocked me and took me to the ground. So
Oh my gosh.
I thought the van was gonna slide over me and the bike, but luckily it stopped. I remember pulling my knees up to my chest, thinking it'll push against the back of the van and I'll just slide with it, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe the bike will go underneath. But
Yeah.
luckily it stopped. So yeah.
I know, those close calls.
Yeah.
Okay, though. I know it was Martin Luther King and you had free time. Why did you go out? I mean, the weather was kind of crappy.
Yeah. That's just what I do. I just cannot. I have a hard time riding inside.
Yeah.
I have a hard time riding the trainer.
Have you ever tried the Swift stuff?
Been looking at it. The wife was encouraging me more to look at it. After that.
Especially after that.
I will say this. I've ridden every day so far this year.
Yeah.
And 4 of those
Wow.
were inside. Though after that happened, I rode the rest of the week inside.
Yeah.
Really, because I didn't want to hit my head again, because
Oh.
that was kind of not good.
Yeah.
But, so I rode inside, but then that next Saturday I was out.
Yeah, I understand. It's hard.
It's
It's hard to ride inside. You know, I can do it, you know, first part of winter, but this part of winter, not so much. Like, just really hard because it's almost getting nicer, and you're like, oh, it's gonna happen, so I can just wait and go.
Right. Yeah.
But then a week passes and you haven't ridden. That's me. That was me last week. So.
Oh wow, that's tough. And kind of like what I think Aaron was talking about last week. I mean, it is, you know, mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And you still get, you talk about that runner's high.
Yeah.
It's just, you get the same thing from biking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, that's the same.
Yeah. There are studies that actually outdoor riding affects your brain differently than indoor.
Really?
Yeah. It's not the same. And it's, I mean, when you're told that, you're like, oh yeah, duh. Like, because it's so hard to do it inside anyway.
Right.
I mean, both are positive, but the outside is just that much different than inside.
Yeah. Getting outside, being outdoors, fresh air, seeing scenery, you know, that's just so much better for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So have you done like triple bypass and
you know, it's
copper triangle?
Those 2 are on my list.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to do one of those 2 this year actually, and I'm still not sure. I might see about one of those, but we've done a lot. We've done a lot of big. So every year usually we do something kind of big, which is fun.
Yeah. Oh, you do the.
We've done. Last year was Tour de Steamboat, which was awesome. It got me. I dropped a lot of weight. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I dropped a lot of weight because I wanted to climb really well, so I really leaned up for that, which was awesome.
Yeah.
I've been able to keep most of that off, which is great. So I got a head start for this year. Before that, I mean, over the years we've done, went down to Santa Fe. We worked that into a family trip. We went to Santa Fe as a family. We did a ride down there, Santa Fe Century. That was awesome. Cool. We did Tulsa Tough. We went down and won the Aces jersey.
Yeah, that's
one
right.
year. That was epic. I mean, that was like a day in the Tour de France.
Yeah, really.
Police motorcycles ahead of you, leapfrogging, closing down roads. You never stop, except for the 2 feed zones. They stop for 2 minutes.
Right.
We just had it was awesome. I mean, it was epic.
But it wasn't just you. It was
there was 5 of us that won it. And that was another good thing about, doing events like that where we're a matching team kit.
Oh, yeah.
Because we could find each other in the crowd.
Right.
And that because you're talking hundreds of cyclists.
Yes.
And that's a great way to stay together and keep your group together and organized. But we've done Hotter Than Hell 100 one year. We wore our Nebraska Bicycling Alliance jerseys that year.
Yeah.
What's funny was we're driving back from Texas and we get a social media post saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys, you had a team down there and they saved me." We had someone that got dropped off of their group. Yeah. And we said, "Well, jump in with us." And so she did, and we pulled her along for a long way. Yeah. And she got on social media and sent a message to Nebraska Bicycling Alliance thanking the group that came down and
That's
basically
awesome.
helped her out. So things like that are fun.
Yeah.
We've done a Grand Fondo race in Golden, Colorado a couple years ago, and that was hard. Hardest day ever on my bike I've ever had, hands down.
Really? What was so hard about it?
I didn't have the gearing right on
Oh,
my bike.
yeah.
And then we had it was a road bike, but we had some gravel sections,
Okay.
and 16-17%. It was like you walk. And when the smallest chain ring on the front of your bike is the 39,
Yeah.
you're not going to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. You need
so-
a lot less.
It's a lesson learned there, but it was still, I love the descents. So that was fun. That still made it worthwhile.
Yeah.
We, a year or two ago, did 3-day ride from Colorado back to Lincoln. So 131 day, but 100 miles every other day. That was just a fun ride.
Yeah.
Just a fun training type ride, which we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Me and Kent Thompson and
Yeah.
Jim Blue did that.
Yep.
So that was awesome. The same group, we did a 200-mile ride. Wish I was on Strava back when we did this ride.
Right?
We did a 200-mile ride. We rode out west, but then rode up to Columbus and back. And we get to Columbus and we hit Valentino's.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were leaving town, and their TV station came out, tracked us down, and said, "What are you guys doing?" And so we got interviewed. So we used it as an interview for Nebraska Bicycle Alliance.
Yeah.
We're wearing their jerseys,
Right.
And so we said, we're just enjoying Nebraska roads, hitting all these small towns. And so we did a 200-mile ride that in one day. And
so, did you plan that? Did you organize all of that then?
It's a combination. No, I think some of those are Ken Thompson or Jim Blue.
Okay.
Or just some of the guys in the group will.
Yeah.
Ed Harris or someone will have an idea of what we want to try something, and
Yeah.
we'll just cook it up and get some SAG support and someone's wife to help drive along or a friend, and boom.
You guys come back with all these adventures, and I'm like, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Do you have something like that planned for this year? Or is it just kind of a spur of the moment
No,
deal?
we usually try to plan it. So the Cowboy Trail
Yeah.
is one that we're working
Okay.
on. I'm working on right now, trying to get logistics figured out.
Yeah.
The hope is that we can get a small group up to Valentine
Mm-hmm.
and ride from Valentine to Atkinson, then Atkinson to Norfolk. And that's the whole Cowboy Trail really right now.
Yeah.
That's 200 miles, so 2 days. Drive up on a Friday, start Saturday, finish Sunday Norfolk, hopefully by 3, drive home.
Yeah.
There's 5 sections of the Cowboy Trail that are damaged from the floods
Oh.
still.
Really?
So we have to go around some of those sections, so
Uh-huh.
that'll add some more logistics to the whole event.
Yeah.
Trying to coordinate that right now. And
Nice.
so,
That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
So, have you taken to any of this gravel? I know you ride gravel.
mhm.
Have you done anything else outside? Like
Um,
Steamboat, they have a gravel.
yeah,
event.
I've only done, I've done the state games gravel race,
Yeah.
gosh, probably 6-8 times.
Really?
When it was first started as a 100-mile
Uh-huh.
gravel race for the state games, I started doing it right from the first time they offered it.
Yeah.
I think I did the 100-mile section, gosh, I think I did that one a couple times, and then they switched, they added a 50-mile route, and I started to do the 50-mile route,
Mm-hmm.
because gravel's a different animal.
Yeah, it is.
Road riding and
Yeah.
gravel are, different, and I think it's just like what you see with pro riders.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are climbers, some are sprinters,
Right.
some are all-arounders,
Right.
but gravel is just a different, like
Yeah.
I said, different, and so I can do it. It's not my sweet spot.
Yeah.
But, it's fun. It's a challenge. It's different. So I've done that quite a few times. So other than that, I've moonlighted, of course, Gravel Worlds a few times, especially early on when it was sending a postcard and
Right.
just show up and ride. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did. I'd go out and just ride part of it with some of the guys and just
crazy.
for the fun of it. And,
Yeah. They started the same time, I guess, Dirty Kansas did. They're all both about the same. They've been running about the same
Oh.
time. It's 9-10 years now. I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah.
And then you look at Dirty Kansas, they have over 2,000 participants in that thing. So it's really amazing to see the longevity for the gravel event here, Gravel Worlds, and kind of keeping that entry lower.
Right.
But people still come out for that thing and just, it's crazy. Have you done it yet?
I haven't officially ever
Oh, okay.
signed up and done it. I haven't done the 75 or the 150. I kind of know my sweet spot,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really attractive. There's not a pull to do it for me yet.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's the 100 miles of gravel. 100 miles of racing gravel is hard.
Yeah.
I can't imagine 150 is like, wow. I would have to definitely ride a different pace to survive 150 miles, or the 200, like, Dirty Kansas.
I know. They even have an ultra distance at Dirty Kansas, which, what's been awesome about the whole gravel scene is, it's funny because when you were saying, when you grew up, there's like one sidewalk and all you did was ride gravel. That wasn't a thing. It was just what you did. Now it's a thing.
Right.
And it's really brought in a lot. The appeal to ride gravel is so much broader than the other disciplines within cycling. And it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah.
So I hope that continues, and then we can see that people explore. They start there and explore some of the other things that you can do with a bicycle.
Even though I've ridden, even this year, this all winter, pretty much what I'm doing is riding gravel, and it's fun. I enjoy it. It's great for me for the winter and fall.
Yeah.
But gosh, I'm definitely itching to get back on the road bike. I went out Sunday, and I didn't have a short on time, so I went out and did 30 miles, and I did probably more half and half. I did Highway 2 and then gravel and back on Highway 2.
Yeah.
And even though I was on my gravel bike, it felt like I'm out on a road bike ride. I'm like, this feels awesome. I'm so ready to get the road bike out.
Oh, yeah.
And I got back home, and I'm like, I was just energized. I knocked out the ride I wanted to, and then loved the time I had. And I had that runner's high, biker's high when I was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just felt on top of the world. It was awesome.
Yeah. I totally understand what you're saying. Riding on the road, I just really enjoy it. And I know, people have fears about it, but if you're cautious and take precautions, you can enjoy it just as much as any other thing out there. So.
And that's why the group ride's great. One, we know when and where you should be, not be. You think about the sun, where it's at.
Yeah.
Again, some of those roads, is it game day or not, that kind of stuff. You kind of know where you can and can't be.
Right.
And starting early is good. You beat a lot of that traffic, so you can get on some of the smaller two-lane roads that don't have a shoulder, get out and back before traffic gets heavy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits to getting up and getting it done early.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. Then also, I know I still get people. Someone just asked me last weekend, you ride Highway 2? I'm like, I love Highway 2.
Yeah.
I feel safer out there than I do as anywhere else.
Right.
It's safer than in town.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then I ride in the dark.
Yeah.
And people freak out about that too. I'm like, you know what? I feel almost even more visible in the dark I got 2 headlights, I got 2 taillights.
Right.
People see me.
Yeah. Because because they see the lights because they're like, what's going on?
Yeah. And
then they realize, oh, okay.
So I feel more visible sometimes in the dark.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But,
I hear you. And that, so go ahead and plug when the ride is. On Saturday.
Oh, Saturday mornings.
Saturday mornings.
Well, right now it's usually 8:00 at the bench.
Yeah.
but that slowly, as we get more daylight and it gets warmer temps,
Yeah.
we start to dial that back. I think the earliest we may go is 7 or 7:15
Right.
at the bench.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, depending on the wind, we may move that start from the bench over to 56 and Highway 2.
Okay.
Because we may go out of town southeast versus southwest.
Okay.
But, make a loop around is usually what happens. With the south wind always in the summer,
Yeah.
that's usually how we figure out where we're going. And so,
And how do you notify people?
right now, primarily it's the email group. So
Mhm.
if anybody has a name and they want to get it on the list, they just usually somehow someone finds someone that's connected, and and I get a lot of emails. Hey, Brent, add this person to
Oh
the
yeah,
list.
that's true. Yeah.
Or what happens a lot of times is I meet people out and about.
Yeah.
Hey, I can put you on the list. I mean,
Right.
if you make it, great. If you
Yeah.
never do, you never do. But,
Right.
So,
At least you know it's there.
yeah, and then I also, on social media, I'll post it on the Team Impact Facebook page. I'll just mention that when we're meeting and when we're riding.
Okay.
So that's usually how I do it.
Yeah. And what's really cool is it's really organic.
Right.
And I like that because the people that are there, they want to be there, and they know what the ride's all about. And that's really awesome. Yeah.
And we, again, like you said earlier, I mean, we try to include anybody. It's not going to be cutthroat. We're not going to go out there and yell at you to keep your hands on the handlebars and close to the brakes, which, trust me, happened back in the day. It scared me. There might be some people might get coached a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's so subtle, and you won't even know what's happening.
Right.
And most people know what they're doing. And
Yes.
they're willing to learn.
Yes.
But the group works together usually, and people sometimes peel off, turn around, go home, which is fine. Sometimes we stop and regroup. We purposely won't take anybody out. No, we're not going to drag you out and leave you high and dry.
Right.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I
just
remember that
how-
one Saturday. Because sometimes, you think you're feeling okay and that you can make the distance. And then you get to the turnaround point and you realize, I don't have enough gas to get me back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's happened to me. I know Aaron, remember that one
Yeah.
Saturday? Yeah, we
Yeah.
just brought it back in, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, what's the fun in that?
Right.
But it's the shared experience of, there could be a moment where you might need that help back.
Oh yeah. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, we all have been, and I hope people, if they ever come out to Saturday morning, which I highly encourage, I tell people about your ride all the time because of that, the nature of the ride, the feel of the ride, and I know that person's not going to get left out there and be like, why did they come out? So I'm really excited for it to get warmer, get that daylight, just like you, get back on the road bike and be out there.
Yep.
Well, I really appreciate you taking time out. Again, tell us about Bike Walk.
Bike Walk Nebraska. So bikewalknebraska.org is the website. If you go out there, you can take a look at the license plate.
Yep.
On the webpage, it's out there. So
what's the webpage?
bikewalknebraska.org.
Perfect. Did
I say that right?
I
I better make sure I say that right.
Say it right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bikewalknebraska.org.
Excellent.
So yeah.
So you can check out the license plate, and
you can see what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
So things like some of the legislation we've worked on.
Awesome.
And there's always legislation that we're trying to do and advocate for.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the rights and protections that you have in a crosswalk.
Yeah.
And that came from a state statute,
Yes.
which we worked on, and then came to be for the city of Lincoln
Yep.
to change. We then had to change city ordinance to match.
Nice.
But to give a person on a bike the same rights and protections as someone walking
Yes.
was huge.
Yes. Very huge.
So, but there's a list of things that we've done. There's lots more we're trying to do. We're always trying to raise money,
Yeah.
get memberships.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to we're trying to plan a fundraiser for
Nice.
later in the year, so we've kind
Okay.
of got some stuff working on for that as well. So
Wow.
yeah, so there's lots going on.
I just have to say, I really appreciate all that you do for the cycling community in so many ways. Where you started, and then growing the riding group like you have, and just like I said, your consistency and being open to whoever shows up and meeting them where they're at,
Sure.
and then carrying this through with the advocacy. It's really made it safer, which I hope encourages more activity, and everyone can enjoy the roads around here. So I really appreciate that. With that, we are down here at Fuse Co-work, and Fuse's mission, the co-working space, is to provide a space for a diverse community of Lincoln, Nebraska professionals, innovators, entrepreneurs, remote workers, and startups. Fuse Co-working hopes to ignite the inspiration to build, connect, collaborate, and create. To learn more about this amazing space, go to www.fusecoworking.com, and also come and visit us at Wheelie Good Bike Shop over on 16th and Old Cheney. If you're looking for a group to ride with on Saturday mornings, I'm going to tell you about Brent's group because I know he'll take care of you. Thanks again, Brett.
Yep, thank you.